product has been in market for more than 11 years now. So it's been around for quite some time. It's a product that has been designed for mid-sized businesses, really, from scratch. You know, and the characteristics of that product is, if you had a few things to remember, is we focus on three things for SAGE ERP X3. We focus on ease of use, so an ERP that should be easy to use, rapid to implement, and cost effective. So those are the three things where we focus. You would find in this ERP, though, for mid-sized companies, a very comprehensive set of features. We cover all the core business processes of a company, from sales, manufacturing, invoicing, warehouse management. So we cover literally all those processes, as you would expect from a comprehensive ERP.
What do you consider a medium company? Because you know that is so different from one country to another, from one continent to another.
It is different from one to the other. So typically in Western Europe, it would be companies with from 100 to 2,500 employees would be one way to describe it. You could look at it from a revenue perspective, from 50 million to 500 million euros revenue. It changes from one industry to the other. The other thing we look at, actually, rather than just the number of employees or the revenue, is what we call the IT muscle. And the IT muscle would be, how many people do you have on your IT team? How many people do you have taking care of your information system? Is it 1 to 5 people, or is it more than 10 people? And that would give you a sense of what kind of company. The other thing we're looking at, which is part of the IT muscle, is how much a company spends a year on IT. So it would be 150,000 euros up to 500,000 euros. That would be typically mid-market company, low mid-market company. But then for upper mid-market companies, it would range to 1.5 million euros. And again, changes from one country to the other, one industry to the other, but that gives an indication if the company has a strong ability to run large projects, or if they need to accommodate some limited investment, but they still are facing the same kind of issue. So we focus on those companies, and we try to bring a solution that can cope with this. So I think we are very different from other solutions out there, is we didn't come from a very large solution for large companies that we try to shrink down and have those smaller companies try to cope with that thing. So that's not the case. On the other hand, we're neither taking a solution that would be for very small companies and trying to stretch it up, because none of the things work. So we really are, we created a product from the ground up to say, okay, mid-sized companies have exactly similar issues as large companies, but they have less budget and less people to go after those issues or opportunities. And so we need not to make any kind of compromise in terms of what we deliver to them.
What about the current version of the product?
So we're now in the... we introduced the major release 6 about 15 months ago. Just a few weeks we released the 6.2 version of that product, which has been interesting. Even if it's a point release, it introduced more than 330 new features or improvement over the 6.1 release. So we're pretty much on that trend, which is interesting because we have a very loyal base of customers. We enjoy 3,000 customers worldwide already, and nearly half of them are either on a version 5 or a version 6. So customers are, they're upgrading, they're moving to the next release, and they enjoy the improvement we bring to that, which is interesting, because not everyone can enjoy half of the install base on the latest release of the product.
What about the position of X3 in SAGE portfolio? Because we all know that SAGE have a lot of products.
A lot of choice.
Yeah, okay. Explain me a little bit one side, the rest of the portfolio,
sure.
and the position of X3 in the general portfolio of SAGE.
So as you mentioned, and you look at this from a Spanish perspective, but SAGE is a global company, so we enjoy very successful products in the different countries we're established for small companies. And we have a set of ERP. In Spain, we have Logic Control and now Murano. So we have a set of solutions that are very well suited for domestic businesses, small businesses, or climbing a little bit up the ladder. They are they have a good reputation locally, and the businesses are appreciating the fact that SAGE is present, and the R&D supporting those products is in the very country where this product is sold, which gives a lot of responsiveness and lots of flexibility, a lot of an empowerment of the SAGE businesses locally. And at the same time, when a company grows, there are two things happening. Their requirement from a technology perspective is going up. They're more demanding on the technology solution, more scalability, more openness, more interaction with third-party product. And on the other dimension, their business requirement, their business processes are getting more complex, and their reach is going beyond just one country, and they're starting to expand internationally. This is why we've complemented the product family of ERPs from domestic products to rather solutions that would be able to accommodate businesses that would have some offices outside of the country, up to SAGE ERP X3, which is the one and only solution from SAGE, which is a global ERP, i.e. able to support a company that, if the success is there, could operate literally around the globe. But with one HQ, one end-to-end business process portfolio. So this is what we're doing. So a lot of choice and a very good path to support the growth. We hope our customers are growing, all of them, and to support their growth and moving there. So that's the how the portfolio fits with all those products.
So X3 is the only international product.
Only global product.
The only global
ERP product. Yeah.
ERP. In the rest of the countries, each country has a certain product, as in Spain.
Exactly. So you would have, I don't know, we're not yet in Brazil.
Yeah.
For the sake of your audience, but in other countries like in North America, for instance, we have successful product like Peachtree, or in the UK we would have Sage 50, Sage 200. Yeah. So we have a set of those products, okay. Germany or things like that.
Okay, explain me a little bit about the current industry solutions of X3.
Oh, that's something we announced very recently.
Yeah, and the roadmap with this the industry solutions. And afterwards, I will ask you about the partner strategy for the industry solution that you have.
It's very much something you could not split.
Yeah,
it goes with it.
Okay, so explain me a little bit.
I'll cover that. When you're facing some ERP project and you want to embark into an ERP implementation, there are a lot of parameters that plays to cost effectiveness. I told you we're focusing on three things: ease of use, rapid implementation, and cost effectiveness. When you deal with cost effectiveness, we know that there is always a trade-off for customers. Is it, I want a comprehensive solution that could cover all of my business, but at the same time, if that solution could be more relevant to my specific industry, I would have less things to develop or to customize. And it's very difficult to do that trade-off, because sometimes you find a very good solution that is dedicated to your industry, but it's not very comprehensive. You don't have all the things you would like to have. It supports your core industry processes, but it would be weak in the financial area or in the HR area. So there is always this trade-off. SAGE ERP X3 is a very horizontal solution. So because I told you we cover the whole spectrum of the business processes you can have in a company. So we said, we need to cope with that trade-off and try to accommodate some of those industries for our customers so we can take that cost off and that difficulty to make a choice off the table. So you have different ways to approach this. Some of our competition is just doing everything themselves. Some others are just asking partners to develop solutions that just don't look at what they're doing, how many partners they have in one industry or the other. We tend to privilege a collaborative approach. What we want to do is we really want to gather in 4 large industry sectors. Those are not industries, industry sectors. The 4 are discrete manufacturing, process manufacturing, distribution, and services. We want to assemble a community of partners because our partners know very well the business of our customers. And a lot of them are already very much specialized in some industry, automotive, pharmaceutical, what have you. So gather those communities, probably with some business consultant firms, some system integrators, and some customers themselves, to have a collaborative approach to what is required in that industry. What are the core processes we should automate in SAGE ERP X3? And that is the basis for our partners to promote their value add. Because they can now, and they can apply online, by the way. They can right away go on sageerpx3.com and just apply to the industry solution program and say, Sage, I've got expertise in that industry. I'm ready to embark in that journey and maybe complement SAGE ERP X3 to that specific industry to come up with a decent solution. This is what we've done already for the services industry. So for the services, we know services are not very well served by ERP. Services industry, for a lot of companies in that industry, they're either doing development on their own or they're using some spreadsheet-based solution. They have a lot of difficulty to find a package that would do the core and what is specific to their industry, like project and job costing, for instance. How do you track time on projects? How you do, because that's really the core of what they do. Or they would have to choose some very expensive and comprehensive solutions. So, and they can always afford that. So what we announced on the 26th of May is that for a first deliverable of our industry solution program would be a project and job costing module. So that we've built with one of our partners that is a service company itself. So that helps. And we're delivering that to market globally. So now all the community of our partners and customers can have access to the project and job costing module of SAGE ERP X3, which gives a good flavor for X3 in the services industry. So that is one example of what we can do with industry solution. This is also an example of how partners can get more value of being a SAGE partner, because that solution is distributed in all the countries, all the 53 countries where SAGE ERP X3 is sold. So it's very good for them as well.
In Spain, we have a lot of services companies that are now internationalizing, and maybe they will need this kind of software also. Okay, and maybe are some sectors that you have mentioned in which SAGE works better or not? In general,
actually, we are reflective of the market. So traditionally, ERPs have been invented to serve manufacturing industries. That is the place where they have been invented initially. So obviously we have a lot of manufacturing customers, either in process manufacturing or discrete manufacturing. So that's the reality. But what we see is that we got a lot of traction in distribution and services. Services because I told you they were underserved by the market, and distribution because as well the solution that were offered to the distribution industry were too heavy, honestly, too difficult to cope with. So we enjoy a lot of success in those two industries, and we put a lot of focus. We would focus very much on services and service distribution and services moving forward.
You have explained a little bit, but could you explain me what do you consider your main competition in globally? And what
you want names?
If possible, yes, why not? And tell me some reasons to choose SAGE in front of the competition, sure. From the client point of view and also from the partner point of view.
Sure. We face three kinds of competition on a global basis, and you find that in all the regions and the countries we're operating. We face competition from the large ERP vendors. I don't need to mention names, everyone knows those. Those are solutions generally for large enterprise. Those companies are trying to go down market and try to adapt their solution to mid-market customers. So we face that kind of competition worldwide. The second kind of competition are more companies selling ERPs, either globally or internationally, with a mixed bag of solutions. They carry, probably each one of them would carry 2, 3, 4 different ERPs in their portfolio. And some of them, and a lot of them are doing this through acquisition. It's been, and they have what they have, right? And some of them are successful, even in Spain. And we enjoy a third kind of competition, which is a very local one, because you have a lot of ERP and business application vendors. Actually, I don't know how much you have, how many you have in Spain, but I would guess there would be by the 100.
Yeah.
Okay. So those very domestic solutions are generally very focusing on some industries, and they enjoy quite a lot of success. We would be happy to welcome them in our community, to to enrich and enlarge the SAGE ERP X3 experience, and some of them are doing this. We see that movement happening now.
Okay, some competition of SAGE is spreading its range of products towards BPM, portal, BI,
yeah,
business intelligence. Is SAGE thinking in something similar? Are you thinking in developing this kind of products, or maybe you are thinking about acquisitions?
Generally, we would not comment on this beforehand, as you know. We not tell you, we're thinking about 2, 3 companies we're going to go acquire. That's not the way it happens.
But the spreading of the offer towards BPM or BI is a fact in the ERP.
It is happening, and we're approaching this as we approach a number of topics, which is very pragmatically and trying to think from a mid-market customer perspective, from a mid-sized business perspective, how do they want to cope with this? So the number one thing we keep always in mind, because I mentioned ease of use, is we always try to take the integration cost out of the equation for the customer. Okay, let me give you an example. We've integrated a business intelligence stack within SAGE ERP X3. We literally integrated it in SAGE ERP X3, which means that customers or partners wouldn't have to learn a different solution to go build reports, dashboards, what have you. Okay, so we've wrapped it up. And we will pursue that. We will continue to enrich that business intelligence experience, because we're a strong believer that decision making is critical for companies. The pace, the delay you allow yourself to make a decision is getting shorter and shorter as we move forward, as we all can attest. This world is going faster than ever. So this is critical for companies to take advantage of an ERP, be able to make sound decision very quickly, collaboratively, and in a simple manner. So that's one. The other one is the BPM route. You're right. Standardization of BPM is still difficult in the industry. When you look at IT.
Talking about business process management.
Business process management. You're right. We use too many acronyms in our work.
Because there is business Performance management also?
The promise of that is, it could be business performance management, but that would be more with the BI gang.
Absolutely.
Business intelligence gang. So I would consider that thing as one. But in the business process management, the promise is, how could I allow more what you could call knowledge worker or business decision makers to be able to automate business processes by themselves in an ERP, for instance. The promise is very ambitious. A number of companies are trying to go there. Technology standards are not yet totally finalized. You still have this kind of, I wouldn't say religion, but it's close to that. Like, we have that kind of standard. You should use that protocol and nothing else, like BPEL, where you have this other one. No, it should be loose and open coupling and everything else. What we've implemented in SAGE ERP X3 is what we call SAGE Visual Processes. And we're starting there because we felt human beings have difficulties with menus and implicit workflows. Don't like that. So how can you make a business process explicit to the user? Because user adoption is one of the key elements to driving cost of an ERP solution down and try to shorten the payback period. I invest 1 or 100 or 1,000 or maybe more in my ERP. When do I get my return on investment? So the quickest you can do that, the better for you. So turn that process explicit to the user is key. So we've implemented, it's now the second generation of SAGE Visual Processes in the product. So you can describe your process just like graphical, visually. So the examples we're putting in the product, because we have we should have more than 200 business processes available when you buy the product, visual processes. And you just look like a metro map. So the user comes in the office, say, okay, to do an order purchase, I'm going to go to step 1. I see what I have to do. Then, so he clicks on the first station, quote unquote, metro station, goes to the right place in the ERP, do the first thing, comes back to the SAGE Visual Process, and moves to the second step, and so forth. So it's very, there's little thing for you to learn. It's right in your face. So that's one. But the other thing that is interesting with this solution, so it helps a lot accelerate user adoption. That's what it makes. But another thing is it helps change management. Why? Because companies would change their business process. So if you're a CEO or you're a general manager of a company and you want to change those business processes, you have to do what? Training of people. You have to do a lot of meetings. You have to evangelize. You have to tell everyone the process has changed. We have now a new step. Let's take an example. Let's say now I want in my company, everything I buy or I sell, I want to know what is the carbon footprint. I care about the planet. With SAGE Visual Processes, you would just take all the business processes that are going through this and you add a step. You add a quote-unquote metro station. And you say, now you're going to go to the carbon footprint evaluation before you just jump to the next step. So if you change the process overnight and the user, I'm exaggerating on purpose, and the user comes the next morning, he would see there is a new step to accomplish. Click on that one. It would take him or her to the right place to do that carbon footprint evaluation, which, by the way, would be probably a cloud-based solution, would be a solution on the web, okay? And come back to the ERP and then keep going. So to change management, this is also very, very interesting. So we're a big believer in SAGE Visual Processes, and we think that's the premise of where we could go in the road of business process management down the road.
Talking about cloud, what is your strategy for the cloud, your cloud strategy?
So cloud,
are you thinking about of
software
X3?
as a service?
Yeah,
software as a service solution. We're more than thinking about it. We start to have a pretty interesting set of what we call connected services. So those are entire solution or part of processes that are provided by solutions that would be hosted somewhere on the cloud, or a combination of those, which we call mashup. So our strategy here is that's very interesting because we had a lot of initiatives around the globe with those connected service. We're starting to enjoy a pretty good success on some of those in different areas. It could be payment solution. It could be something that helps you do treasury management. It could be to help companies do a credit check or just check the health of the businesses they're doing business with before they start to deliver a lot of goods and try to run after the money and things like that. So it depends on the country, on the region, but we're enjoying some success. What we can attest is that not all customers would like to have their entire solution on the web. Maybe it will happen one day, but right now that is not the case. Some of them have been investing in solution for years and they're not ready to just restart it from scratch and move it to the web. Some companies that do not have anything are happy to just go online. So for instance, we have in the UK, Sage just started what we call a Sage Business Solution Online, which is the entire solution would be on the cloud. We see Sage One, which is a solution to do, again, financials and things like that, but right from the web for small businesses. This one is really for small businesses. And we're enjoying quite a good success there. So we have, in terms of web strategy, we have two main things we want to go do. Sage Business Solutions Online, for those who would like to have that. And the other one is connected services, because those who have invested on solution on-premise, they would like to extend the reach and the value of what they could do with it in complementing those with solution coming from the web. So that's what we're doing. We're building connected services ourselves, and we're inviting, again, business partners to create connected services with us, or use what they've been coming up with, because you have a lot of companies doing business on the web already, and turn that into a connected service for Sage Solutions.
Explain me a little bit about your new channel strategy, and your current channel strategy.
So actually, it's not a channel strategy; it's a partner strategy. Let me elaborate on that.
Okay.
You really have two kind of partners in the ecosystem. One is what you describe as a channel partner, which usually is a reselling partner, someone who resells the solutions coming from Sage. On that front, the strategy is very simple. We open the door for the existing channel business partners with Sage to expand their activity outside of their home country if they want to. So if a Spanish reselling partner would like, or starts to have some presence in France, Germany, UK, what have you, we would help them to do that business as well. I'm talking to Sage ERP X3. Okay, so try to facilitate that and have them easily expand, so to help them grow as well. So that's for the reselling partners. What we're really trying to focus on a global basis are the non-reselling partners. And those would be system integrators. They're instrumental in making ERP project a success. Even business consultants, because business consultants are looking at what are the core issues that companies are facing, and they're a very good advisor. So we would enjoy working more with them to better understand what are the critical things we should take care of and automate. Because at the end of the day, the economies of scale of an ERP is very simple. What is the percentage of your business processes that you did automate with your ERP? It's that simple. The more you did, the more you get ROI. That's pretty simple. So work with those business consultants to do that, IT consultants as well, and developers, and what we call another acronym, ISVs, independent software vendors. And we have a number of examples. So we've announced on the 26th of May that, again, right on the web, just like Industry Solutions, our existing partners and companies that would like to join the ecosystem could just apply online. So they could go on sageerpx3.com, and they could just say, I'm a business consultant, or I'm a system integrator. I would like to become a Sage ERP X3, get into the partner network of Sage ERP X3. And either I operate in one country, or I operate in multiple countries, or I'm a global company. We could accommodate all of that. So This strategy is really to expand our ecosystem, to take advantage of the expertise, the talent of our existing and future reselling partners, but as well on the non-reselling partners that bring a lot of value to a ERP project.
We have a strong presence in Latin America. You are global responsible for the product. What is your position in Latin America? What is your strategy in Latin America?
Latin America is a fast-growing region in the world, so especially in Brazil. I mean, there are a lot of things happening there. The economy is booming. I mean, very interesting region. Complex legislations, especially in Brazil.
Also in Venezuela, Cuba, for example.
Yeah, I even didn't get there. To start with Brazil. Actually, we have a partner in Argentina for years. It's been a very loyal partner with us. She's distributing SAGE ERP X3 in Argentina, not to the masses. Honestly, it's a small partner, but she's doing a good job. We're starting to have some customers in Brazil. It's not, again, we're just testing waters. There are big competitors out there that we know. But I think Brazil will be an interesting region to explore. We have, by the way, we have a presence in Brazil. We have an office there. We have a subsidiary there. But they're selling most financials product. They're selling treasury products, treasury management product. And they're enjoying quite significant success. So we're looking at this. We're starting to have some customers with SAGE ERP X3. Probably will be helped by simplification of legislation in Brazil, which is happening soon. So stay tuned for more.
Is the unique office that you have in South America?
In South America, there's only one subsidiary in Brazil for now. And
you have some partners in...
And we have some partners there, yeah.
In some countries?
Yeah.
Not in all countries, I suppose.
No, not at all.
Maybe so, Argentina, Mexico?
Brazil, I would not be able to talk to the other ones. Those would be managed more. So for instance, some of our partners are managed by Portugal in Brazil. So then, I would not get into too many details there.
Okay.
Not a strong presence yet in Latin America for SAGE ERP X3, but an interesting region we're watching. We have a distributed R&D team for X3, mostly in France right now, because the product originally was a product that was acquired from a company where the R&D was based there. And we have R&D in the UK now on this product, in the US, and small footprint in other countries, because what happens is that, again, the way we manage collaboration there, we want SAGE ERP X3 to have a local face, to be very relevant to local businesses, because this is the SAGE value. SAGE value, if you compare it to some global vendors out there, one of the big value of SAGE is SAGE understand very well local issues, the way you conduct business locally. Why? Because they're local. You don't say SAGE in Spain, I believe. You say SAGE, right?
Yeah.
So, and in France they say SAGE. So, and every single country has a local face with SAGE, and we understand that. So we want to pursue that in X3. So what we do is localization happens in the very country where it is delivered. Poland was the last example. We have a subsidiary in Poland. People in Poland specify, sometimes develop when they have the bandwidth, the localization of the product, and we reintegrate that in the core product. So when you acquire SAGE ERP X3, you have all those legislation, all those languages in the product at once. But we benefit from the multiple expertise. So R&D is there is a core team that is based in France, and it's distributed around the world. We expect more and more people over time.
So you don't have any development teams in India, for example?
No, not at this point. We didn't outsource. SAGE ERP X3 is a very innovative technology product. And when you're in acquisition mode, like we are, because most of our business is in acquisition. 70% of our business is done for customer acquisition. We enjoy 3,000 customers to date. And this is accelerating. So you really want, when you're in that situation, you really want to have everyone at hand. You want to make sure that that kind of pace is continuing, that you can innovate like crazy in this product, moving on, because we have serious competition out there.
Absolutely. Okay, some brief opinion about open source. What is your opinion about open source?
Oh, we have more than
Do you consider it a competition, a serious competition?
In terms of ERP?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, yes, there are ERP solutions that are open source. We've been facing some situations where we've been competing with those. And generally what we try to do is try to have the customer understand what is at stake, because there can be a very valid reason to go with an open source ERP, but the cost and the complexity attached to it needs to be understood by those businesses. We think mid-sized businesses would not have that kind of muscle, because it's very demanding to go on open source, whether it's an ERP or not, by the way. If you want to really do not have service plans, if you want to be on your own and you say, oh, that's nice because it's free, because people understand when you say open source, people hear free. So, okay, so go ahead, be free, you can have it. But at the same time, you will have to invest yourself. So you have to be prepared for that. Some businesses, generally the public sector, by the way, are ready for that because they have a lot of people. They're aware of that. If you're aware about that, go ahead. Might be a good solution for you. But right now, what we saw is that for the existing players in that field, they're decreasing market share. At one point, they had a sort of a movement for those solutions, and now we can attest to that. I mean, you can check on the analyst and the numbers. Their market share is shrinking now, so maybe that's not the right topic. On the other hand, we are very pleased with open source. So, for instance, we announced on the 26th of May a partnership with a company by the name of Talent, which is a solution that is open source and does another acronym, ETL. So it's a solution to move massive amount of data between one solution to the other in an automatic fashion, and you can just, on the way, you can just not move the data from A to B, but you can take the data from E, transform it the way you want, and move it to B, okay, and to C, and to D, and to whatever. And this solution is open source, so they have exactly, and this is the kind of advice they say to their customers. They have more than 300 customers now. You can have that solution for free, so which is the case with X3 now. You can have this solution to automate data exchange. It's also very useful to do migration. When you move from an existing solution to SAGE ERP X3, very often the request from the customer, which is legitimate, is what do I do with my existing data? So that's a very effective way to address it. So Talent would say, you can use my solution for free. It's open source. Go ahead. But if you're becoming serious about it, you probably want to get some support from us. And this is a nice model. They enjoy a lot of connectors, so their solution is thanks to the open source strategy. So suddenly a lot of people are developing to that community, and now they have, I don't remember, I think it's 250 connectors to various solutions. So it's pretty comprehensive. And this is another example of connected service that I was mentioning before, cloud-based strategy, because Talent is offering a more compact version of that solution on the cloud. So if you have a quick data exchange you want to do, you could just operate that from that connected service. And that is also available to SAGE ERP X3 customers.
Okay, tell me about the technical roadmap of X3.
You want to know everything? You want to know everything?
Absolutely.
Every little secret.
New versions, new features for...
So right now we're in version 6.2. We introduced it on the 26th of May on a global basis. Moving forward, we're always working on two major releases down the road. We have code names for that, as maybe you would expect. So the next major release is going to be, the code name is Emerald, and the one after that is Jade. Emerald will be really focusing on those industry solutions I was mentioning, trying to make... What we're trying to do here is to give a simple way for our partner community to combine their verticals on the same instance of X3. So we're working very much on this one, and try to come up with the additions of SAGE ERP X3 that will serve those four meta industries I described before. thanks to all the inputs and all the existing components our partner community could bring to the table. We'll have also lots of feature, new legislation, things like that. Jade is more the major release you're looking at in terms of technology, because the world is becoming very rapidly mobile. The web is paramount. I mean, I get crazy when I get in a place that I can't get Wi-Fi, right? I go crazy, which I did yesterday at the hotel. So that's the way it is. That's the way the world is moving. So we've done something for the release today. We've introduced SAGE Enterprise Webtop, which is again a combination of connected service with X3. That's a solution of, maybe another time we'll have time to discuss this, but it's about dashboard intelligence, because business intelligence is not enough. Because a lot of the information let me touch a little bit on this one. A lot of the information you manipulate and you have at your disposal are information coming from the enterprise, generally in structured form. A little bit in non-structured form, that would be in documents and things like that. But you have a lot of things happening out there. People are talking, the social media thing. You know, people are discussing about your brand, about your solution. Maybe saying good things about you, maybe not. You want to know. You want to be part of that conversation. A lot of things are happening out there. How can you cope with all that, you know, the blog posts, the Twitter feeds, the Facebook discussions, the tons of video published online? How do you cope with all of that together with your enterprise data? So you need something more. This is dashboard intelligence. How to combine data coming from the enterprise with information that is in the outside world on the network in one simple dashboard, and publish that to whoever you want so they can personalize it. So that's about SAGE Enterprise Webtop. But at the same time, what it provides is give an ability to more people to participate in business processes. So instead of saying, oh, I've got 40 suppliers or 10 suppliers that are calling my office, sending me emails to know where they are, I'm going to open a dashboard for those suppliers. They can personalize, each one of them can personalize it, even each individual can personalize it, and they will have directly an access to the data and the workflows sitting in X3. And it will, of course it is available, I say of course, but you would expect. It is available on mobile phones, on tablets. I'm not mentioning any brand because otherwise they're gonna fight. And of course, PC as well, and Mac as well. I mean, we have to serve also this. But so it's accessible from anywhere, and it's very intuitive. So yeah, you should go and see a demo of that. Pay us a visit on SageERP-X3.com. There's a nice demo of SAGE Enterprise Webtop on how you do a purchase order, and you have no training. You just do drag and follow. Yeah. This is my inventory. There is a red light, it means the inventory is going down. I just drag, creates a widget, replenishment. I want that many items for that date, and send the order to the ERP. Totally secured end-to-end, but available on anything. So this is something we're doing now. But Jade, because I was talking about Jade, Jade will have to make that, take that to the next level again. Because Jade will probably be at a time where, 2014 is a time where the number of people accessing the web through a mobile device will surpass the number of people accessing the web through desktop device. So if we have a release coming after that time, you better rethink the way you want to use the ERP and the way you interact with your users. So this is what we're doing in Jade.
Okay, my last question. Based in your knowledge of the global market, mainly focused in Europe, what are your thoughts about the closer future based on the economic momentum that we are passing through? I mean, how do you see the closer future for your product and your market?
For our business?
Yeah, business.
So for SAGE ERP X3, the business has been good. I mean, during the downturn, we've enjoyed 32% growth during 2008 up to 2010, which is interesting in the downturn environment. Not all of our competition could. But as I told you, we're very much into acquisition mode. So we're looking at double-digit growth moving forward.
This year?
Generally, worldwide, for SAGE ERP X3. The areas, the regions of the world where we expect will get a lot of growth are North America. This is really a big potential for us. UK and Germany, obviously, in Europe, are places where we would enjoy a lot of growth as well. So those are good things. But we have a special attachment to Spain as well, because Spain has been with SAGE ERP X3 for a very long time. We enjoy a large customer base in this country, which I think should be between 200 and 300 customers in Spain. A lot in Portugal as well, by the way. The entire Iberica zone is very active around SAGE ERP X3. A lot of knowledge, a lot of expertise in the product. So we also have strong expectation from our Spanish partners and Spain activities, looking very, very interesting into Latin America.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.